last ship. Oh, really? It has a plaque here also. Oh, it's in the ocean. Yep.
He's been looking.
Oh, 216. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He's been looking for something else.
There is a list in the office here that we can go through, just to be sure.
I know it's on the website.
Yeah. Okay, you have a program. I don't even have one.
It's right here on your.
Oh, okay.
I think you can kind of open it and read it.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh.
Again, I apologize for being late. I drove fast, but a tourist got in my way, and we're not allowed to hit them anymore. Somebody said, if it's tourist season, why can't we shoot them? Actually, they are the key to our subsistence here. And it's really a wonderful experience to live in a tourist town because there's so much going on. And everybody's here full of anticipation and excitement, so it's a good time. For those of you who don't know, my name is Larry Wirtz. I'm one of 203 volunteers here at the National Museum of the Pacific Board. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I enjoy every time. We have about 3 plaque dedications a week. Now, especially during the summer, and around a Memorial Day, and around, especially around December 7th. Admiral Nimitz, as you know, is from Fredericksburg. He was born in a little house just across Main Street and about a block up the street. The building you see here in the corner was the hotel built by Admiral Nimitz's grandfather, who had served in the German Merchant Navy, so he built the hotel to look like a ship. And for years it was referred to as the Steamboat Hotel. Shortly before his death, in 1966, Admiral Nimitz was approached by a number of citizens of this hometown and asked if he would allow them to purchase the hotel from its current owner and renovate it as a museum dedicated to him. And after some long discussions, he finally agreed that that would be fine, with 2 provisions. One, that it would be dedicated not to him, but to those who served under him. And second, that the motto of the museum, which we still carry today, would be, we inspire our youth by honoring our heroes. And that's why we're here today. A lot of people have the image of a hero as a guy falling on a grenade, jumping over a trench and with his bayonet. But who we honor here are almost entirely the real heroes. They are the real heroes. The ordinary guys who gave up a part of their lives, in many cases gave up their lives, left their families, left their jobs, left their homes, were gone for 4, 5, or 6 years. And were there because they knew they needed to be. Their country needed them, their families needed their protection, and the countries in which they served, or the areas in which they served, needed their protection and the ultimate victory. Those are the real heroes. Just like the guys who go to work every day to support their families. They're the people we honor here today, and Mr. Caronna, we honor you especially today. Your plaque will be dedicated here today, and next week it will be set on the memorial wall. The wall was just this wall here, but now we're using both sides of it. We were using the side of the wall across from it. We built new walls, and we're going to keep building additional walls as plaques continue to be dedicated. This plaque is not a temporary feature. It will be part of the museum as long as the museum exists, and we expect it to exist for a long time. The plaque will be here for your grandchildren and great-grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and everyone else's great-grandchildren for time to come. We want to emphasize it as a permanent feature because we don't want people to think we take this lightly. This is what we do, and it's very serious business. The museum, since 1966, grew very, very slowly. It was in financial trouble almost from the beginning. It didn't really recover for several years, and finally fell on really hard times, and was taken over by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. And it moved along steadily from that time forward. But then it came under the auspices of a private organization called the Admiral Nimitz Foundation. And then the growth and building really, really started. This building was purchased. It was an HEB supermarket. And converted into the George Bush Gallery of the Pacific War. Then the Plaza of the Presidents was built. The hotel was renovated for the third time. The walls, by the way, were the corral for the hotel. It was in that hotel that Admiral Nimitz did his chores. Got up at 3, studied, chopped wood, put out the fires, heated the water for the bathhouse right here with a tank on target. And then went to school and came back and went through the same routine every day. After the foundation opened this building, there was a little lull. Then the museum came under the auspices of the Texas Historical Commission, who licensed the Operation Museum to the foundation. We just finished a $3 million 3-year renovation, 4th renovation of the hotel, dedicated to Admiral Nimitz, though it's only part of the National Museum. We are this fall going to break ground on a 40,000 square foot addition to this 20,000 square foot museum. The first 20,000 square feet will be the first floor. That'll be a continuation of the war from 1942 through September of 1945. The second floor will be the Center for Pacific War Studies, and that will be where scholars from all over the world can come to do their research on the war, on the people who served, and especially on the history of the ships. This courtyard behind us was just opened in February on Admiral Nimitz's birthday, so that's all new. We now have also the Pacific Combat Zone down the street, a block and a half. We encourage you to go to that. It's the home of a fully restored PT boat at anchor. TBM aircraft like President Bush was in and was shot down. There are many, many other artifacts there in real settings. So if you have a chance, please try to see it. And if you don't, come back if you can. We'd love to have you. I believe that's it. Again, I want to emphasize that this is your day, sir. And your friends and family are going to dedicate this class to you, but we dedicate the day to you. And we hope you enjoy it very much. So on behalf of the National Museum of the Pacific War, the Admiral Nimitz Foundation, the Texas Historical Commission, and the City of Fredericksburg, we welcome you. It's a pleasure and privilege to have you here. God bless you all. Thank you.
Please rise for the pledge. The flag is to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you hear me now? Friends and family, welcome. A special day for the Caronna family. We're going to recognize and honor management, quite a lot, quite a few of us, for quite some time. To his friends, co-workers, family, we honor James Caronna today, not James Judah, H. Caronna. And we're going to recognize really the sacrifices that he made for the freedoms not only of the United States of America, but for people halfway around the world, for strangers, for other people who love freedom, that were really not a part of our country, but needed our servicemen to do the job that they did in order to protect them. Jesus said that there's greater love has no man than this, that a man would lay down his life for a friend. And a person doesn't have to die in order to be that kind of hero or to show that kind of love. And we're very thankful for that. James Caronna, my dad, displayed that type of love, not only in his service in the United States Navy, but in the way he lived his life, in the way he loved his family, his wife, his children, with his work ethic and all that he did for all these years. And we're thankful for that. James H. Caronna not only laid down his life or sacrificed it for his friends and family, but as I said, for strangers as well. And we thank God that he survived and that he's here today, and we share this day as we honor James, my dad, Grandpa, Pawpaw, loving husband. James Caronna, born in 1926 in the Houston Heights, literally in the Houston Heights, in a house, I think on 16th Street, in his aunt's house. I recall us growing up and hearing some stories about life on the farm. Great-grandparents, well, my great-grandparents, his grandparents that farmed. And I recall how he shared that love. We didn't really love it, but as he had a garden, always in the backyard on Jackwood Street. He loved farming and gardening. We didn't love pulling weeds, but we did it. We learned a lot. It didn't kill us. It actually made us better young men, my brother and I, and young ladies, my two sisters who are here. In 1944, James entered the United States Navy, training at the Navy base in San Diego, California. Then in Oceanside, California, completing Beach Battalion training in Camp Pendleton. His service in the United States Navy would take him to a number of exotic and faraway places. I recall him talking about Leyte Island, and then to Okinawa in April 1945. The battle for Okinawa was one of the bloodiest of the entire war in the Pacific. And in the years past, Dad spoke very little of his experiences there. But remember what I said, greater love has no man that he laid down his life for his friends. I recall Dad talking about the 1,500 friends from the 96th Infantry that he went ashore with, only 2 of which survived the battles there. From 1945 to the year 2007, as we stand here today, that's a lot of years. And yet he has never forgotten those friends, and he's carried and honored their memories and their sacrifices with him to this day. We love you, Dad. We appreciate all you've done. If you would just bow with me, I'd like to lead us in prayer. Almighty God, we thank you, and we recognize that you have created all things simply by the power of your spoken word. All the things that we see, the things that we don't see, you've created them and you hold them together now. You've given us life with which to serve you, to honor you, and in which we're to serve others. Every good and perfect gift you've given to us. We thank you. We thank you for this day in which we honor our hero who has stood for your righteousness and your justice for some 81 years. We thank you for protecting him on the seas and on the beaches and battlefields very far away. As you have so faithfully done, Lord, we pray, as you taught your disciples, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I'd like to called here today to honor James H. Caronna. We all just simply know him as our dad. I thought I'd relate some of the experiences that Dad told us about World War II and how it touched our lives growing up. I know Mark and I talked about it. I know he'll remember most of these things, and Dad, I think he will too. When you told us this, Dad, you probably thought we weren't listening because we were just kids, but we really were. We were listening, and we do remember, and we were quite amazed to hear most of your stories. I remember one time Mark and I were wrestling with Dad one day, and one of us asked him, "Hey Dad, were you ever hurt or wounded in the war?" And he lifted up his shirt, pointed his belly button and said, "Yeah, I got hurt right here." I remember we laughed about that for a long time. I thought that was pretty funny. I remember one time Dad pulled out his old World War II steel helmet and his ammo belt, and he let Mark and I wear these. We ran around for days out in our yard, and Jack would play Army Man. I thought that was pretty neat. So those were keepsakes, and we were kids, and we were bound to mess them up. I remember I once asked Dad, "God, weren't you scared running on that beach? Bullets and explosions, things going on all around you?" And he said, "Heck, I was raised on a farm. That landing and all those bombs and bullets and things going off, that was the most exciting thing I'd ever experienced in my life. I was too excited to be scared." Now the second landing we had, that time I was scared. He told us at the time he was on watch and he saw a torpedo heading for their ship. He radioed in, but it was too close. There was nothing that could be done. He said it never exploded. It passed underneath his ship and must have been set too deep for their ship and passed harmlessly underneath them. And as Mark said, we were very thankful for that. I remember he told us one night he went to his bunk, exhausted from his watch, took off his helmet, and it stuck to the side of the ship as it had been magnetized to prevent mines from sticking to the ship. Well, he was tired and left it there and went to sleep. Sometime during the night, they turned that magnetic field off, and that heavy steel helmet fell and landed on him. We thought that was pretty funny too. He said before the landing, hundreds of ships lined up around the island, fired their guns 24 hours a day, for several days. He said he couldn't see how anything on that island could still be left alive, but it was. Dad, that must have been something really awesome to see. This was Dad's way of explaining events to us when we were children in a way that we could understand. I'm sure there were many hardships and sad times, but he chose to keep those memories to himself and protect us from them. But as an adult, it's clear that these events were life-changing experiences for Dad. Because of courageous men like our father and grandfather who did their duty and fought to keep our freedom, we live in a much better world today. Their sacrifice so many years ago is what still makes this country great today, and their sacrifice must never be forgotten. So, Dad, we all say thank you for what you did.
Joel, you want to say something?
I lost my speech from my computer.
Joel, Sarah, your turn, honey.
I don't know what happened to her.
As a father, he was loving yet stern when needed. As a husband, he provided love and support. As a friend, he is dependable and trustworthy. And as a brother in arms, he stood among many sons, fathers, and friends. He stood courageous and ready to defend our beautiful country. Even in the eyes of the enemies, he stood steadfast and proud. And as my pawpaw and leader of our family and my best friend, he is the voice of reason, a passionate fisherman, a leader of a church, and a reason to truly be proud to be called an American. Pawpaw, thank you for your contributions to our country and family. You mean more to me than any possession or person in the world. I know I could never adequately thank you for what you did, but I know I intend to spend the rest of my life doing so. I love you.
Anyone else have something to say? Anything? I guess it's time for them to go.
James H. Caronna, United States Navy Seaman First Class. Beach Battalion, USS Neshoba, APA 216. Naval Reserves, June 1941 to June 1944 to June 1950. Born February 21st, 1926 in Houston, Texas. His campaigns were the Asiatic Pacific Campaign, the American Campaign, and the Magic Carpet Escort. And this whole day is giving me love by my family.
I'm James Caronna as well. I guess I'll say a few things. I wasn't really planning on it, but I will. It's funny looking at this picture. It's almost like looking in a mirror. I look a lot like that. Because the good looks spread. Skip Mark and came straight to me. It's funny. I took some pictures of James Caronna over Easter, and I put them up online. And my friends commented on the photo, and they said, "That's you in the future. Like you're looking at yourself in the future." And so not only do we share the dashing good looks, but we also share a name, James Caronna, which I'm very proud of. I think it's an awesome name. Everyone I've ever met loves it as well. So it's very cool. I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of the history. I'm proud to tell my friends about who you were, and I tell them stories all the time. A lot of them probably shouldn't be said over a microphone about things that you've told me and things that we've done, just laughing and stuff. There's a lot of good memories, and I'm very proud to carry the name James Caronna. I share it with someone who bravely fought in a war. I think that is very courageous and very brave, and I hope, as well as the good looks in the name, I hope that some of that bravery and integrity will be passed on to me as well. We all thank you and we love you. You've been an amazing father to daughters and to sons, and an amazing grandpa, an amazing man. Yeah, we love you, and we thank you so much for what you did. This is all just to honor you. So yeah, thank you, and let's pray. Dear God, we love you so much. And we thank you for the weather today, God. We thank you that it's not too hot, God. It's not too cold. God, most of all, we thank you for James Caronna, Lord. We thank you for the sacrifice, God, of time and of, God, just the uncertainty of whether or not he would even come back, God, of going off to war. God, we thank you for brave men like him. God, that we can stand here today, God, in a beautiful free country, Lord. God, we thank you so much, God, for who he's been in our lives. God, thank you so much for blessing this family, Lord, with his presence. God, it's in your perfect and holy name, God, that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, James.
Hi, I'm Joel Jansen. My last name isn't Caronna, but I have never once felt anything other than a part of this family. And this is my family. If my last name could be Caronna, it would be. I had a great speech prepared today, but I forgot it at home, so I'm just going to try to give you the idea of what I wanted to say. Papa, James Caronna, my grandfather, your parents, or your parent, he fought for our country. He provided for his family, and he served his God his entire life. He devoted himself to what he believed in, he fought for what he believed in, and he's never pretended to stand for anything other than what he believed in and what he felt was right. And I watched the news today, and I see the kind of people around me when I go to school and when I'm out driving, and I think that this is a real man. This is the kind of man that someday I hope that I can become, and someday I hope that more people around me can become, because that's the kind of man that we need to lead our country and to lead our generation. And I thank you for being my grandfather, and I thank God that I'm part of this family. Thank you very much.
Dad, did you want to say anything?
Somebody take a picture of everybody. Y'all want to put it in, whatever, if you get everybody sitting
My
here.
wife started this, started rolling off, and the daughters took over, kids helping everything to make this possible. I've got friends from the Knights of Columbus here, and I want to tell you that some of the things we said made me cry. When you mentioned the 1,500 guys that died, I can't talk about it anymore.
That's okay, you don't have to.
But anyway, I'm proud to have all you guys. You're wonderful, wonderful. I couldn't ask for better children or grandchildren. Couldn't ask for a better wife. I hope that we stay on for a few years and get to watch you guys grow up, maybe have some more grandchildren.
Great-grandchildren. Forget grandchildren. It's time for break.
Thank you very much. You mentioned Admiral Nimitz was born in February, so I feel kind of kin to him. I was born in February. But anyway, he was our commander in the Pacific. And we had such great people leading the Navy. And you can see that by the way the war progressed as we got into it more and more. We started off with almost nothing with some aircraft carriers. And eventually we destroyed the Japanese Air Force and we destroyed their Navy. And we saved the world from that tyranny. Thank you a lot, everybody.
Everybody sit down for just a minute so James can get.
Take a picture of everybody. Yeah, y'all sit down so we get a picture of everybody. Except y'all.
I'll get James on camera.
Okay, Carolyn, come sit down. And then we'll, somebody take one with James. We want to get James in there.
What's his name? Take a picture.
What's his
name? Hey,
I did say you were good looking. Y'all all come sit down.
I will. I'm trying to let this set up while we're all fooling around.
Okay, come on so we can get.
It's not on now.
It is on.
Oh, so what do I do?
You're on the spot. Anywhere, it doesn't matter. I just thought I'd get it.
Okay. Let's see. Let's, yeah. I think if everybody no, but if everybody just hold still. So I may have to move some faces.
What does still look like?
I'm gonna have to use the viewfinder because of the sun. Okay, still going, still got everybody. Yeah. I couldn't over. No, you're fine. Okay, link as close as you can. Here we go. All right, if you say whiskey. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. In honor of the word. Here we go. There's a guy just stood up. All right. Whiskey.
Thank you. Yay! Good job.
Well, we want you to know that this is your day as a family. And if there's anything we can do, we certainly want to do it.
You want to move this a little closer this way so we can get behind the podium?
They're going to put it up tomorrow.
Well, let's take a picture.
Or you can wait.
Did he get?
Half the family was kind of gathered behind him, getting a good spot. Oh, okay, so they're not here. Okay. All right.
Shorty's up here.
Okay. We got a couple more folks going to be right back.
Rose and Carolyn had to go find this young man with the black
Okay. So relax in the shade for a minute or something.
Remember your spots. Come back to the shade. Nemo's missing. And Carolyn.
They're trying to find out where the flags can be.
Yeah, they're going to be back.
Why don't we do it, Dad, with the grandkids while we're waiting on Caroline? There you go. That's good. And then when they show up, we'll wait and think. I would like to get one of them.
What are we doing?
Grandchildren.
Okay, grandkids. Okay, then I'm staying.
The future.
Justin's hidden. You're on the other side of over here. Yeah, come right here.
Can you get?
Yeah, Justin needs to come up beside Papa because he's
There you go.
Those heathens are working.
Okay, Ryan, you can move up some. Yeah, right there. That's good.
Everybody smile.
Move this limb.
Yeah.
Is it the way? It's hard to move the limb. Yes, it's not like I would move it, but I
Just don't let it go all at once. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Smile, Justice.
Ryan.
Did you do it?
What is it?
I do nothing.
Is that it? Wait, whiskey? Okay, one more.
German food.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
All right. Face hurting yet?
Yes.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Go. Y'all did? Whiskey trying to run.
All right, now.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, Mom.
Mima.
Say it into the microphone. Meemaw. Meemaw.
Mima. We need you at the desk. We're closing. Paging Mima. All Mimas to the desk.
Watch out, there might be
This is like a
Meemaws.
Like 20 of them.
You answer.
You can take a break until the ladies come back, and then we'll get more pictures.
You want James to autograph your program?
Oh, yeah, good idea.
I had one down there.
All right, you meet me at 3 o'clock at so-and-so cafe. You meet me
Okay.
at 4 o'clock at so-and-so cafe.
Hello.
Get 40 free dinners from Emos.
Where do you want to stand?
Remember you.
Yeah, I'm your other grandkid. Don't you remember?
Like right there would be good, honey, where you are. Where this is.
I can't believe you don't remember me.
And then you get like a car.
Maybe it's magnetic or something.
Yeah, it is a magnet. Like at the plastic.
All right.
No. Yeah.
And they kept, but I still don't see. With, honey, with you.
Oh, you're missing that?
We need a blower.
Just like hold it up with your hand and like hide.
Pop our faces like. Where's Mark at?
They're
Like,
coming. And here they come.
One of them is.
She said so.
That's the old days. When they had Iron Man, that'd be a great picture.
That is real.
Carolyn.
well, let's get us 4 kids in while Carolyn.
I'm a
There's Mark. Go take a picture with us with Dad. I'll forward it.
That's out a really good spot.
The
4 of us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where's Pam? Pam.
we're missing Mark.
He's coming. He's right behind us.
Where do I go?
Come stand right here, maybe.
We in front of Dad, so
Right here in front of James.
Stand right here, and then Mark is standing between y'all.
Mark.
Can you see everybody?
Say sneeze.
Take off your sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. Please.
Which camera do we look at?
All of them.
Don't forget to say cheese.
I charge for autographs.
Good.
Just check with my agency.
Yeah. Does it even look good or is it?
There's enough.
Okay, Mom and Dad. Let's hope they don't figure out a way.
I know, that's what I was hoping for.
They're good at that.
Yeah, I don't want them to figure out a way. There you go. Where's Ashley? Where's my phone? All these cameras. We feel like we're dignitaries. All these cameras flashing and they're not flashing, but they're all. Working.
Is that it?
James, I think you got the back of her head.
I
already did.
Put a smile on that face.
Oh, man.
Everybody.
Dad got us up at 7.
Yeah, we get up at 5:30.
It's fun.
Oh, family, honey.
We can't do that.
One more picture, you guys.
Yeah, you know, we could move this thing. Hey, why don't we take
One big
Everybody. Why don't we just turn around and take it like...
You might want to turn it around so you get the sun on it too.
Yeah.
Dress the set. Get off the stick. Excuse me. Okay.
I always wondered why I played in the brown pine. See, Pam, I tried red, white. I guess I could have got red, but don't.
This is where we think Papa's plaque will go. Is on this little wall in the back here. And you can see it's at the edge of the museum by the water fountain, which is kind of nice. That's a big propeller. Cool. There it is, see? Alright. It's by a pentagon.